Are you alright over there? So I didn't just see you stumble for the 4th time today? Darling, it's not very nice to lie to people. To lie to me. I thought we were past you being difficult with me. Tell me what's wrong. You do realize you can't lie to me. Well, no, you can try, but... have you ever succeeded? Are you going to tell me? Or am I going to have to convince you? It's clearly not nothing. Alright, if it's nothing, then walk over to me. You heard me. Stop leaning against the table and walk over to me. See, the fact that you're refusing to do so makes me believe something is wrong. No, not because you're refusing to be at my beck and call. Though you know usually you have no qualms with that. But you've no reason to refuse a simple little order. A request. Unless, of course, you can't. Look at me. Pet. Am I going to have to talk to you like this to get anything done? Look at me. Why are you lying to me about being in pain? You think I wouldn't be able to recognize it? Surely you don't think I would judge you, when you know I have my own chronic pain and health issues. No one here would judge you. Though I'm sure being around your old employers, shall we call them, I'm sure they probably told you it was some sort of weakness, and that you couldn't show weakness. That you just had to toughen up and deal with it. Unless you never told them at all. But then that would only be out of fear. I can't imagine they would have been accepting. No, that makes more sense, doesn't it? They wouldn't keep employing you if they knew. And you needed the money. And a roof over your head. And while you know being weak in front of me won't get you kicked out, I understand that. It must be hard to let go of your instincts, especially if it's an instinct that's kept you alive and safe. But you don't need it anymore. Not here. Not with me. So tell me what's wrong. Pain. Where? I see. And you didn't mention it because... What would you say to me if I was having a bad pain day, failed to tell you, kept pushing myself, and when questioned told you that it wasn't a big deal? Exactly. Who told you that being in pain was normal? No, let me guess. Maybe you did try and mention it to them, and they brushed it off. Either assumed it wasn't as bad as you were describing, and didn't care. Both. I suppose if it's all you've ever known, you might think it's normal for everyone to have physical ailments and be constantly in pain. Especially if you were being raised in an environment where you could not speak about the pain. So you kept silent and just assumed that everyone silently dealt with the same pain you did. And it just wasn't spoken about because it was normal. And it made you feel weak and angry at yourself because everybody else seemed to be able to get so much done and you couldn't. That you were weaker because the pain got to you more. But the fact is, Pat, you were not on an even playing field with everyone else. You were starting at a disadvantage. And you didn't even know. So you berated yourself. Perhaps if I'd grown up isolated or not told anyone about my ailments, I would have been very much the same. I suppose at least it was somewhat of a privilege to grow up knowing my pain wasn't normal. Though, I suppose at times it was harder to hide. Not that having an invisible ailment makes it any less of an ailment or makes it less painful, or less important, or less deserving of medical help. But things were worse when I was a child, in terms of pain levels. It is only thanks to magic users that I was able to heal somewhat and be as mobile as I am now. How do you think I got drawn into magic using in the first place? Not that I grew up in a pleasant environment, as you know. The orphanage was quite small, and I was the only one there who was anywhere near that level of sick Not because I couldn't hide it. People knew. And people knew it wasn't normal. I didn't get a lot of sympathy for it. I still was expected to be able to do things I could not. And then I expected that of myself. It took me a long time to accept that being disabled does mean that you are not abled. It's almost as if it's in the name. What I mean is, it's all well and good when people champion people with chronic pain, illnesses, disabilities, and mental health conditions, and say that we can do anything if we put our mind to it, and that we shouldn't give up and keep trying, and the sentiment is nice. And I do believe that we should not give up or lose hope. But it is at times unrealistic. And I don't say this to be a pessimist, but sometimes, for some people, and all the time for some people, you just aren't capable of doing that thing. No matter how much you put your mind to it. No matter how hard you try. Not because of a lack of will, but simply because your body cannot, or your mind cannot. And there should be no shame in that. People who are sick should not have to prove that they can be some sort of icon, if that's the right word. Inspiration, that's it, to others. It feels horrible to not be able to do something. But I don't think it is always helpful to then tell that person that if they put their mind to it, you're sure that they can. Even though, of course, that's being said probably with the best intentions. I think some need to accept that some people just won't be able to do something no matter how hard they try, and that there is no shame in that. An extreme example, of course, would be trying to tell someone who's paralyzed that they can walk if they try hard enough. That's an obvious, incorrect thing to say. But so is saying to someone who can walk, but does have pains in their legs, that they'd be able to run a marathon if they try hard enough. Some with health conditions can. And some would not be able to no matter how hard they try. Or some would be able to if they try hard enough, but the cost would be making their pain and their illness even worse. I don't think that should be a price one has to pay. It's all right if you cannot continue working today, because you know that doing so will put you in even more pain. Shh. Kitten. You don't talk back to me. Not when I'm talking to you like this. I don't want to hear any buts. Be honest with me. What is your body telling you to do? What is it saying to you? then a sit down you shall have. You have worked hard enough. Any work you do is hard enough. And if your best is fewer hours than other people, or less intense work, or a slower completion rate, there is nothing wrong with that. I know, and you're always doing your best. And what your best is and what you're capable of can be different every day, depending on how you feel. I don't want you looking at any of the others here and thinking you can't take a break because they aren't. And they should be, if they need to. And you certainly shouldn't be comparing yourself to me. Whether you think that you can't take a break because I'm still working, despite, if you think that my pain is worse, it's not a competition. And you've been there, on days where I can't get out of bed. And you wouldn't dream of telling me that I need to get out and do some work and push myself. So I would appreciate it if you didn't do that to yourself. I don't like things of mine getting hurt. And you're hurting yourself with this nonsense. Perhaps positive reinforcement is needed. How about this then, kitten? You do this for me. Take breaks when you need to, as many as you need. And tell me, every time you have. And if you're up to it, if you feel capable, there could be a reward in it for you. Well, I'll think of something. And you do like being good for me and doing as you're told, don't you? All those years, such a loyal little hero, doing what you're told. Comes naturally, doesn't it? Good. Then, rest. And after you've done that, then you can have a reward. You can stay in here if you'd like, or go back to our chambers. I don't mind if you flop right there. Fall asleep if you'd like. Or if you'd like to be nice and cozy in bed, I could ask one of the others to escort you and carry you if you can't walk. It's not humiliating. You know there's plenty of people here who are just like us. And I keep accidentally collecting them. I think it's because we feel safer, knowing there's others here who understand. As long as you're comfortable. That's all that matters. So sit. Close your eyes if you want. I'll be right here. Thank you all so much for watching, my lovelies. A reminder that custom audio and art commissions are currently open. Make sure you read my rules and message me to discuss your idea before ordering a commission. Links are in the description as always. I also have a Patreon. If everyone who subscribed to me here gave just £1 a month over there, that would help me out a lot, allow me to move out and keep making audios. Rewards of being a patron of mine include access to my Discord, ad-free streaming and downloads of my audios, the ability to leave audio requests, and 2 exclusive spicy audios a month depending on the tier. I also stream on Twitch most Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes other days of the week. And I have an Etsy shop called Empty Masks where I sell fan art and original art. My Etsy shop also has stickers and other merch of my original audio characters under the The Vampire Prince section of my shop. Thank you so much to my new patrons. My new fledglings, Karate SVT, Kathleen, Cult Drafts, Liam, Harity, Jack, Luke Cleveland, Harley Brain, Luna Demia, Ghost Orion, Panda Sushi 46, Quinn, Crystal Rose, Mid Romiel, Peach Sweetheart 56, Gender is Useless, Sid, Simba Sweet, Jay, Nikolai, Madison Waite, Victor Agreste, Barnow, Grumpy Beetle, Jaybird, R, Fox, Vague Characteristic, Suzuki Luna, Ollie, Fifi, Koi, D, Asterix, Lisa Peasy, Enna Wenaware, Marina Diaz, Anxious Mess Always, Emily, Twilight, Flynn, Baby, Moscolem, Kinga Noak, Angie, Distracted Demon, Sickly Submarine, Phoenix, Delicate Disaster, Grace, Anonymous Bean, Victor Eric Fade, X Felix, Heather Valaday, Blue Roses, Luca Warmanhaven, Molotov Cookies, Day, Finn, Mars, Patricia Abraham, Arvin Joke, Finn, Audrey Jiglets, Gremlin, Laura, Walking Toaster, London Barnes, Tilda, Mart Kristen Heldel, Lisha 07 and Abigail Dawes. And my new familiars, Ezzy, F. Stevenson, and Al Braun.